Testing. 1, 2. Hello everyone, my name is Poncho. I'm a content creator on YouTube and a Grandmaster Snorlax player in Pokemon Unite. I actually got to 1800 again recently, felt confident enough to start telling people my opinion about stuff, because I'm smart, okay? So here's what we're gonna do. I have avoided this subject for far too long. My excuse being, I'm not a real Poke fan, but I recently discovered something that I am probably a little bit of a Poke fan by any standard. I'm gonna show you why. Check this out. I looked at an old video of mine. GG. Watch this. Where are you? I mean, I was making Pokemon content for Poke fans before I even knew I have enough repertoire in this credential area to become part of the conversation. And also, I've spied on a lot of the conversation when I'm watching other streamers. It comes up a lot. You guys really talk about this quite a bit. I'm going to just narrow it down for myself just to the Gen 1 Pokemon here. I'm going to break it down for you in a very understandable way while you're all completely incorrect about all of your opinions ever. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I've brought my necessary credentials. As you can see, I'm clearly a Pokemon fan with this amount of credentials. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Top of the notch content, bro. Okay, so Lickitung. This is a very controversial Pokemon for a lot of reasons. I don't want to get into all of it with the research that I had to do, and I'll never be able to unsee. But regardless of anything that may have happened to me on the internet, this Pokemon could be a good addition to Pokemon Unite. I'm just not sure how I'm going to rank it. So any Pokemon that exists on this list, because I did not get to all 150. I did not even recognize all 150. I didn't have most of their phone numbers. It's very difficult to get them for interviews. So what we're going to do is just go with the ones that I actually feel an emotional attachment with, so that I can simulate some of the biases that you guys might have when you're thinking of what Pokemon should be added to Unite. Okay, so I've tried to do that for you guys so that I can be able to kind of like simulate. I'll be able to explain why I'm overlooking my own emotions while I'm ranking these Pokemon. So don't get offended. You're gonna get offended. Click away. Okay, you're gonna click away, but please don't unsubscribe. Just unding the bell so you don't get it every time. Because I'm gonna do some crazy stuff like this, piss you off. Just don't look at it, bro. I made you happy all those other times. Come on. Okay, so right into it. Lickitung. I'm looking at Lickitung, hating Lickitung, knowing as a concept it would be a great Pokemon to add to Unite. For 100% sure. Here's why. 10-cent games, and this is going to come up a lot. Just go ahead and write this down. I'm going to like point to the sky, or I'll make that means 10-cent games owns a little bit of everything, and they're one of the most powerful corporations that ever existed. That's who owns Pokemon Unite. That's who owns another game that I got started playing on called League of Legends. Kind of the reason I get to smurf on you guys 9 out of 10 times. This is, I've had to deal with people rotating on me. You know what I'm saying? I've tried to snipe blast hits before, quite a bit before Pokemon Unite ever came out. Played League of Legends. Now I was trash. Do not ever come at me with League of Legends. I will not fight you whatsoever. I give up. I am not good enough to play League of Legends, but I was able to translate a little bit of that knowledge to Pokemon Unite to become passable enough to give my opinion in a crazy ranting tier list. So here we are. Aren't you glad you clicked? So what I'm thinking is that this guy, watch, the company that owns Pokemon Unite has a little hand in this game as well. Look at this passive.
He stacks of his passive to enemy champions he strikes with basic attacks.
He slaps you with his tongue.
Once he applies 3 stacks, well, he can do things to them. We'll get to that in a minute.
He gets a lot of powers once he gets it, and it doesn't matter what specifically, right? It doesn't really matter, because Pokemon Unite's got to make it a little different. I don't know why they're pretending to be a different company with all this, but my point being that they could easily reprint all this. It would be a quick switch up, and they would be printing the money. Just send me the check in the mail, guys. I'm doing your work for you, all right? So B tier, for sure. It could be a Tom Kench style. Now, I know what you're thinking. Any people that are watching this who happen to be League of Legends fans too, Tom Kench is able to swallow opponents or team, right? That might be a divisive issue. I'm going to save that for this next Pokemon here. Hopefully, I click it first try. Just for the sake of piety, I could turn them up later. I don't want to give them too high of a rank too fast. Lickitung or Kangaskhan could fulfill the same role. It could be like a supporter type character, right? Lickitung with the passive lick, where he gets a different power whenever he gets his passive off, right? So he could jump to them, eat them up, gobble them. Like, that would be a good thing for a Lickitung to do, right? But Kangaskhan, I also think, might have this other Tom Kench power. Let me show you it real quick.
Use Devour to get your traditional frontline allies quickly into a fight. You'll get there fast thanks to your speed boost, and once you spit them back out, they'll be well positioned to get
So he just spat out his friend. That would be like a Kangaskhan support character, is what I'm picturing, right? Or this guy, you know, whichever they want to do. It's their money. They can spend it however they want to. But anyway, so yeah, I think these guys could be in the C tier. This is a good, like, litmus test to see if anything ranks above or below on that front. Because these two guys, despite their popularity in other ways, I don't know if they were that popular during the show when they premiered on the Kangaskhan Kid episode. episode is a little weird. Kind of get distracted by the fact that his parents are clearly abusive to notice the Kangaskhan and enjoy them. I don't know if he was popular in his time. We could bring him back, revive him. And Lickitung too. Lickitung, clean up his name. You know what I mean? Like, this is a little inappropriate. We need to like shine it up. Maybe the Lickitung is to protect his teammates, right? But here's one caveat that I want to give to this. Kangaskhan is a much better name, which is going to be 90% of my rating system. Okay, so Kangaskhan, Kangaroo, and like Genghis-Khan, I guess. I don't know what the combination of words is. It doesn't matter. It's a very complicated word. You can tell they put a lot of thought. Lickitung, that would be okay. It's an onomatopoeia, and it's a noun. It's part of your mouth. It's like part of his name is what his mouth is, so that's fine. Is that his evolved little baby form in the future is called Licky Licky. Just two onomatopoeias back to back. It's just two sounds. That's not a good name. So you're gonna have to go one tier lower than Kangaskhan. I'm so sorry. Marowak, right? Very popular. I find a lot of people when I creep on their comment section, most people when they talk about this, they're excited to bring up Marowak. Here's a really cool concept that I thought. Here, let me show you Draven. So I'm gonna this was a great idea on one of Chris Hero's streams. I saw this in the background, okay? This is what I think I might be able to be like.
Welcome
This
to
is
League
Draven.
of Legends champion spot and ricochet off of his target.
So you see how he's
If
catching?
Draven catches,
He's catching his axe, just like Marowak would catch their bone, right? Because it's like a boomerang, it comes back. So that could be a cool way to initiate that. That would be an easy transition. They both kind of look like humanoid figures, so this wouldn't even be that weird. They got tons of money pouring out the years. I don't know why they're not doing more with it. Yeah, so this guy might be a little up higher because just so many people really love Marowak. I know that I personally was far too terrified of Lavender Town. I had to make my brother play it for me, so I don't even remember this guy at all. But you know, a lot of people apparently are really emotionally attached to him, so I'm going to cater to my base here. Don't eat where you poop and all that. Let's keep it rolling. So the next Pokemon, be unbiased when I grab it. Oh god, I'm so biased. Golem, right? So Geodude is, if I'm not mistaken, one of the most popular Pokemon of all time, in my opinion, by a huge margin. I am very biased towards Geodude because he's just so cool. Geodude floats, right? He can float up to things and punch it. He can cross water without an issue. It's very cool to think about that. He was also Brock's Pokemon. I kind of looked up to Brock as a role model when I was a child, so that could be fine too. That could be a thing that you could add to the list of reasons why you love Geodude. It's not really important to me, but I think thematically, when you get to this third evolution, bro, I remember Self-Destruct. That was the most 4D chess that as a child I could comprehend. Was I blow up my guy, but I'm always gonna get their guy. That could be a great thing. You know how Pokemon Unite has so much power, but they never change their game to fix the quality of life issues, and you can't really ban Pokemon, and then they release Pokemon halfway through the season that are way too over. Okay, geez, sorry, okay. But my point being that this would be a great way to, you don't have to introduce the banning system. I guess that's too hard for you. Just introduce Golem. When he gets to his max form, his ultimate is Self-Destruct. He can take down one person no matter what. Absol's busted this season. You just counterpick Golem. It would be a niche issue. It would only be for high-ranking players, right? But you could do that. They would have to initiate draft during some tournaments and such, and then he'd be really, really valuable for only a niche audience. That's a great place that this video game has not really dwelled or gone that far into yet, is niche counterpick moments, right? Because they've only had, you know, random picks and all the other depressing stuff that's not as fun to think about is which Pokemon should be next, right? So let's continue rolling. Oh, I kept that up the whole time. Oh, I guess in conclusion, if I'm having to put this somewhere, he's gonna be up way, okay, I'm taking into account my own personal biases, right? He'd probably be a little bit above Marowak because I don't like Marowak. Okay, I took my account biases into account, so took those biases right into account. We're moving forward. Golduck, Psyduck, right? Psyduck support. Doesn't that sound hilarious? And you know what? This doesn't really fit that well. This isn't exactly going to be easy to figure out, right? But there's a way that Psyduck could really represent what he did in the main anime during the Indigo League, where he was kind of a klutz, but he would have these moments of like, oh, no, you didn't. And he would change into something else. So I'm picturing like maybe Golduck is not an evolve in the general sense of what we're used to, right? There's a lot of different ways you could implement this. What if Psyduck, when he gets enough headache, right, he turns into something else called Golduck that has different abilities, kind of like Hoopa when they transform and they use their ultimate, right? But this could be different. This doesn't have to teleport people. This could be like, so Psyduck is very fragile when he's a Psyduck, right? But then he turns into a real tough guy when he becomes Golduck. I don't know. You could implement that some way. Maybe there's like a passive auto attack, right? Or like however many times enemies do damage to Psyduck is how fast he can turn into Golduck and then start slap. But in the meantime, he could just be a cute support. Maybe he drops like something behind him that people can run into, so it's like he's not beating them up. They're just having a clumsy time chasing a Psyduck. It'd be hilarious. That sounds really funny to me. I could appreciate that. But in terms of longevity on the almighty, may he rest in peace forever with God's will. Tier list. I'm gonna have to put him over in this area because he's not exactly, he might even be closer to Lickitung level, to be honest. Psyduck would be a hard sell. The joke was that you didn't like Psyduck, I think, which is kind of hard on Psyduck, but whatever. Butterfree. This is awesome. This is great. This is perfect, okay? Butterfree is going to be a conceptually different Pokemon than ever before. I'm talking about when it doesn't evolve until later, so it has a little bit of a delay. But while it is a Caterpie, it's an attacker. It can ranged auto attacks and that slow the enemy, right? He can't escape that well, but his ranged auto attacks can kite you out with the best of him. He's a tough little bug. He's an attacker in his first phase. This would be different than any other Pokemon. Second phase, Metapod, he's now a defender. He can use Harden to like knock enemies, kind of like that Aegislash's ability where he goes a little motionless and gets an extra shield and kind of punches people back. That could be a thing that he does. You know, he could give him a different move from a different game that I'm sure exists now because the series has been revamped so much, you know? So he's a defender during his middle phase, and during the last phase, he's actually a supporter with his different types of pollen spores and whatever when he rains down hell on the opponents from above like a gosh darn champion, because he's awesome. One caveat to all of this is he can definitely not sound like that. He cannot sound like that in the game. Just do the game sounds from the video game. For the love of God, I'll hit you in the face. So here's another situation that we're running into. Arcanine, right? A lot of people think of Arcanine as not pseudo-legendary. I don't think, one of the people on my stream told me pseudo-legendaries don't even exist in Gen 1 or 2 somehow. I don't know if that's true. I learned during my research of Arcanine for this, that Arcanine is he was supposed to be a legendary Pokemon. He's actually based on a very legendary type, right? So he's very symbolic to the culture that he represents, which is a very cool part of what I ranked them on. Arcanine is like, I guess it's a combination of arson and canine, which is kind of weird because he was like a cop during the show, but I digress. That doesn't matter. I'm not taking the anime too much into account when I'm making my choices here because I'm not a crazy person. What I'm thinking is that Arcanine is a pseudo-legendary, in my opinion, and if you disagree, you're seriously discounting my willingness to get into a fist fight with you. Arcanine would be a great addition as a pseudo-legendary, and he would also be a great addition as maybe even a counter to like Ninetales type characters. Maybe he doesn't do a lot of damage or crowd control, but he can't be crowd controlled that easily. Maybe he can do something that's more AoE damage than a Charizard. Maybe he can fill a very special spot like that because he filled a spot in all of our hearts, right? I'm not being biased at all. S tier, put Arcanine in the game now, please, okay? Arbok. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking. You're just sitting there at your house going, why is no one talking about the fact that all of the Pokemon except Meowth, may his soul rest in peace, say only their name? Golduck, or Marowak, or like Butterfree, right? Or like Pikachu. They all say their name. I'm not crazy. I've heard the show. I know that it's real. Arbok is the only one that doesn't fit the rule, and he doesn't break the rule. He just kind of just sidesteps the rule a tiny bit, and he goes back. Like that's not Arbok. That's back. It doesn't make any sense. You're just like lazy. It doesn't make any sense. I don't like you for that reason. Arbok is Cobra backwards with a K, so I gotta get him into S tier for that. One thing that's gonna bring him down is thematically, we already have a lot of poisonous type things running around, right? So we don't want it to just be a repeat of the Haunter situation. Here's what I'm thinking. Watch this. Okay, so that doesn't really make sense thematically, but she does slither around. She uses poison AoE damage. It'd be super cool. It could be worthwhile exploring. I mean, I just printed you maybe $3,000 in just Poke money right there. Don't even trip. Just send me the check in the mail whenever you feel like, okay? Right? Arbok, I'm gonna go ahead and have to go with the E tier. It's not really on my Mount Rushmore of Pokemon, you know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be epitomized in the video game to an extent that I would know his personality. Here's a good one, though. Rapidash. If you ask any Pokemon fan, Rapidash is up there in their favorites. It has to be. It's such a majestic beast. I mean, just look at it. I'm not sure what we have to do. I'm thinking maybe like Hecarim from League of Legends. I'm not going to share the clip because this is obviously just me stealing from League of Legends at this point. But Team I is just stealing from themselves and pretending not to do it. So who's the real bad guy here? What if she had a path that made her go real fast? Because she can go fast, right? So she casts her path in front of her. If an enemy crosses the path, she can choose to dash to them. right? If she kills him, she gets a reset. She dashes around. She's an attacker. It'd be insane. That might be clean. I'm going to go ahead and actually put it on Golduck level. A little higher than Golduck. Butterfree should be a little higher here. These guys are looking perfect just like that. Down, 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 down. Burr, burr, burr. Perfect. Okay, so Kabutops. This guy could be great in the jungle. I love the idea of a guy who jumps out from the darkness, right? Or maybe he pretends to be a rock, right? What if you can't see him because of his passive and it's like just camouflage, right? Like some type of thing I'm completely stealing from League of Legends right now called Kha'Zix. He's got 2 claws. He jumps out of the darkness. Send me the check in the mail. You're welcome, okay? This guy's going to probably get bumped up to like, in my personal, yeah, I can't be too mad at him. I can't be too mad at him. He's a hustler. Put him right up here with the Butterfree, okay? Farfetch'd, I've never met a person that likes Farfetch'd, so Farfetch'd is probably going to hit an easy F tier for me because everyone hates it, and obviously he doesn't have any emotional following from anyone in the community whatsoever. Guys, thank you for clicking on this, even for just a second. If you liked, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to try to make more videos now, and I'm going to try to keep on editing up some doozies for you, streaming Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at varying times around 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Try to stick it out. You are the best, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Okay, that's enough. Yeah, he was just not that marketable. What? Name one person that thinks that...